Today I'm going to introduce a new type of toolpath which will take care of a particular type of structure, and let me show you what that structure is. So I'm going to import the file. It's a step file that I've exported from Inventor, and need to tell Mastercam that I'm looking for a step file. And there it is. It's called 1-2DHighSpeed. And I'll explain the 2DHighSpeed in a minute. Okay, this is our part with the top view. You can see down here on the G view, we've got X going horizontally, and so to speak, and Y going vertically. We're on the top plane. Everything's top. That's what we want. So let's go to isometric and take a look at what it is, and then right click fit, and you can see that it's a boss structure. Okay, so it's sort of an oval shaped object that's been extruded out, and what we want to do is use a new type of toolpath that will take care of milling out this boss. Okay, first thing we're going to do is the standard stuff. We're going to take mill, default, come in here and take care of all the details. We're going to get our feed rates from the material, and we're going to get it from the library. One of these days maybe we'll change the default to wood so that we don't have to do this part every single time. We're going to assign tool numbers sequentially. Maybe we'll give this program number 1, 2, 3, 4. Use tools step, peck, and coolant. That'll take care of that tab. Stock setup, the all-important stock setup. Display, we're going to fit it to screen. We're going to use a bounding box. And we're going to create lines and points so that we can potentially select parts of the stock. And OK. And OK. So we have our stock set up now. What we're going to do now is use a new type of toolpath. Toolpath 2DHighSpeed. I'm not sure why Mastercam calls this 2DHighSpeed, but it's the most sophisticated two-dimensional toolpaths that they offer, and you'll see in a minute there are many options. The way we're going to handle this one is we're going to, of course, choose a solid model because that's what we have in 3D. Now we're going to do something we haven't done before, and that is we're going to deselect edge and loop, and we're going to keep the face selected. So what that says is that when I come out here to my part, I'm looking for a face to select, and that's going to play a role in defining my toolpath and the chains that are created. And that plane is the one that you see here in white. So I'm going to click it. It's selected. OK. And now you'll see that I get a bunch of different types. There's core mill. You can see that might be what we want. That looks like a boss. Peel mill, that sort of peels stuff away in a channel. Dynamic area mill, and dynamic core mill. I'm going to choose dynamic core mill. And for my tool, I'm just going to select a 1/4 inch flat end mill, and let's see, that might not be long enough. Let's see, let's find one similar to ours. Well, let's just take our 1/4 inch, 1 1/4 inch length end mill, just for the sake of having a tool. Cut parameters, we're going to go here and take all the defaults except for the depth cuts. We're going to again be conservative and just go down 1/8 of an inch. Linking parameters, of course we need to take care of that. I'm going to choose my depth is going to be right down at the bottom there. That didn't quite take. So I'm going to choose absolute depth, and then the bottom of that oval, it is a 1/2 inch. Now, feed plane and retract, we've usually left those alone. We may have to increase those so that we don't sort of run into our part, but I'm going to leave that as is for right now. Okay, then I'm going to do the normal stuff that we've been doing with the home reference points. Just to make sure I have my orientation set up correctly, I'm going to have it come in from the left, so to speak, and retract out to the back, and I'll stop there. It's thinking, and it looks like it's got some sort of a tool path there. So let's do a back plot and see what happens. It's coming in. It's not going quite in a contour. It's doing some interesting things, and you see that it goes above the piece just barely. The yellow stuff there. And I think it's probably going to run into that if we do a verify. So this is a complicated tool path. If I right click top and back out, you can see that, okay, I think my X, Y, and Z orientation, it's correct, my assumption. So it comes in from -5, 0, and it starts doing this thing and then retracts out to 0, +5 in the Y direction. Okay, let's do a quick verify, and we'll see what happens here. So it comes in. It's going to be very slow. I'm going to increase this to 10 moves per refresh. Speed it up. So it's going in there, and it's kind of having its own idea what it's going to do here. It kind of goes, okay, you can see the red part there, so that means we're not retracting high enough. So this more complicated tool path needs to move in ways that it thinks is best for the job to be done, and one of them is to go from over here to over here, and so we're going to need to retract up a little bit to take care of that. Let me quickly change that. That's going to be under this point. Sorry, linking parameters. We're just going to come up, I don't know exactly what it needs to be, but in an absolute value we're going to come up, this means I'm going to come up about a 1/2 inch. This is not optimized necessarily. So the retract and feed plane are going to be a 1/2 inch above the surface of the material. And let's clean up the tool paths. We'll do a verify. Let's put this at more like maybe 20, so it's a little faster. Whoops, is that what we wanted? 20, and there we go. It goes around and around, and then it comes in and does sort of a back and forth type thing. And you can see that it hasn't collided with the structure because we're going a 1/2 inch above it. Okay, so that will take care of a boss. And in case you don't know, if you want to get rid of these lines so you can see your figure again, you can choose the toolpath and then hover over here, toggle display on selected operations, so you gets rid of it. So that should take care of that boss.